trying to be...
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this...
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question. Please.
You are out of line,
Congressman. Don't try to bully me.
And that is just a snippet of an ugly screaming match that erupted on this day at a House hearing on Capitol Hill. It was one of the angriest exchanges that a lot of people up there had seen in decades. I'm going to play the full clip for you in just a moment, but to set it up, I want to give you a little bit of context. For several months, the U.S. House has had a special task force investigating both the Secret Service and the assassination attempts in 2024 against Donald Trump. During this particular hearing, Congressman Pat Fallon, a Republican from Texas, was questioning the acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe. He took over after the Secret Service Director resigned following the incident in July in Pennsylvania. Well, at one point, Congressman Fallon suggested that Rowe had not provided adequate Secret Service protection for a 9/11 ceremony in New York. And Rowe, the acting director, responded with, no, wait a second, he was there not as part of the protective detail, but rather as a representative of the Secret Service. Watch.
Was that the remembrance of September 11th?
It was.
Was it in New York?
It was at Ground Zero.
Okay. Who is usually at an event like this closest to the President of the United States, security-wise?
The SAC of the detail.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. So actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the SAC of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret Service
that's a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be...
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this...
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question. Please.
You are out of line,
Congressman. Don't try to bully me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are playing politics.
I am a public servant who has served this nation, and
you won't answer the question.
On our country's darkest day.
Committee will come to order. Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that day?
No, I wasn't. I was there representing the United States Secret Service, sir.
Mr. Fallon, your time's expired.
Did not affect protective operations.
You know why you were there? Because you wanted to be visible, because you are auditioning for this job.
I was there to pay respect for a fallen member of this agency.
You endangered
You are
President
out of line,
Biden's
Congressman.
Vice President Harris's life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr. Chairman.
You have a radio with you?
Mr. Fallon, your time has expired.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, a couple of things. Secret Service Acting Director Ronald Rowe was correct, and Congressman Fallon was wrong, horribly wrong. The Secret Service Acting Director was at this 9/11 memorial service not as the agent in charge of the protective detail for President Biden and Vice President Harris and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Rowe was there as a representative of the Secret Service, which lost personnel on 9/11. And yet Fallon went crazy when he didn't get the answer he was looking for. So why is it? What is it about Congressman Fallon that would cause him to erupt? Well, a couple things. Congressman Fallon has represented his constituents in Texas in the U.S. House for 10 years. Before that, he served in the Air Force for 4 years. If you want to go back even further, 26 years ago, Fallon was a member of the 1998 Notre Dame football team, the team that won the national championship. And you got to wonder if Pat Fallon got hit in the head one too many times, because why would he explode? Why would he be so quick to get angry over an exchange like this? It seems like Pat Fallon was trying to somehow imply that Ronald Rowe wanted his face on the cameras or wanted some attention on 9/11 and perhaps maybe was angling to be the permanent Secret Service director. But this was a very sloppy way and a very despicable way for Congressman Fallon to try to make that point. And you could see the anger and the confrontation building. This exchange between them, the questioning actually went on for about 10 minutes. And a few minutes before the fireworks erupted, there was Congressman Fallon suggesting that after the July 13th assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, because Agent Rowe was one of the top leaders of the Secret Service. He should have gone immediately to Pennsylvania on July 13th to try to figure out what happened.
Director of the FBI went to the site. Why didn't you go?
Congressman, I think I was appointed July 23rd, and I was there on the 24th or 25th.
But you were the second most senior member of the Secret Service. You could have gone.
And I was managing from here the crisis. We actually
Okay, so you didn't go.
dispatched.
Got it. Did you call the, you were managing the crisis you just said. Did you call the detail that night on July 13th that was protecting President Trump?
On that night, they were operational, sir.
You did not. Okay. Did you call him the next day?
No, I did not.
Okay. When did you finally talk to him?
I spoke to them when they arrived in Milwaukee.
So 4 days later, July 17th, does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you waited 4 days. And when we were talking earlier, a couple months ago, this is an epic failure. We all agree on that. And instead of really focusing on the egregious errors and correcting the incompetence and improving the doctrine and changing the culture, there was a massive appropriations request. We know that you have 8,000 employees. We know that they have a $3.1 billion budget, and you asked for $2 billion additional dollars. What sticks in our craw is when we report to our constituents, we have to say, hey, this federal agency failed epically, and then they wanted to almost double their budget. How much would it have cost to put somebody on that water tower? How much would it have cost to have drones that were actually functioning that day? How much would it have taken to where your anti-drone technology would have worked? How much would it have costed in a walkthrough with local law enforcement to secure the AGR site, or put cameras on that roof, or put agents on that roof, or have your snipers have iPads, or have one command post instead of two?
Those are legitimate questions, concerns, and issues for the Secret Service, and the agency has been scrutinized intensely for the last several months, and it has not been easy, clearly, for the Secret Service to be justifying why it's asking for more resources at a time when it seemed like there had been some institutional failures in their protective services during the presidential campaign. So I suppose it's understandable that the acting director, Ronald Rowe, would be on something of a short fuse, but the problem that he has is that when you show a short fuse in the epic fashion that he did, even though he was correct in what he was trying to argue, it shows a certain personality flaw that could make it more difficult now for him to actually get the job of permanent Secret Service director, even if he's fully qualified, and even if Congressman Pat Fallon was out of line in the questioning and the antagonism that he showed to the Secret Service acting director in this hearing. One sort of humorous note at the end of this fireworks and this exchange, the next congressman to ask questions was Democrat Jared Moskowitz of Florida. Watch.
Mr. Moskowitz, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Congressman?
How you doing?
Sir?
All right. So, look, the reason emotions are high is because we almost did have a former president, and now the president-elect literally almost killed live on television.
Indeed, and clearly tensions have been rising within the Secret Service, but also among members of Congress tasked with oversight over the agency who are trying to figure out how the Secret Service could have dropped the ball and had some of these failures over the summer. In any case, not a great day for the acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe, but an even worse day for Congressman Pat Fallon, Republican from Texas. If you're a constituent of his, you got to be looking up and wondering, is this the guy that I want representing me? Somebody who flies off the handle this easily, who gets so angry, who becomes an unhinged lunatic while asking questions like this? It is crazy. It is also embarrassing. Remarkable hearing. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.